Welcome back, Patriots, to the Bald Brad Show. It is officially Friday, August 9th. We are rolling through this month, which means we're just that much closer to, heck, maybe, hopefully, quite possibly, Donald Trump being the next president of the United States. Let's hope so, because his performance yesterday, if he is to replicate that again, which we will break down, quite frankly, I think he's going to gather a lot of votes and a lot of people to show up to the polls for him. Folks, I hope you're having a lovely week. Can't wait to end this week off with the Patriots in the live chat. I see you, Pat. I see you, Jeremy. Inappropriate Kitten. Miriam's always here supporting the Patriots. Patriot herself. Jennifer, the architect. We got a lot of people rolling in on this fine Friday morning, folks. We broke records yesterday here on the Bald Brad Show. Yes, I'm going to say that again. We broke records here on the show. We had well over, I think it was like 1,200 viewers live with us. Not to mention, we officially on Rumble hit over 56,000 views on yesterday's podcast. Folks, isn't that crazy? 56,000 viewers because of all of you, the Patriots in here, the Bald Brad Army, joining us to get the news and figure out what the hell's going on and how the Democrats are destroying this country. Folks, it was a big day for us here on the show. Greatly appreciated to all of you. We share this momentous time as a community, and let's hope for another 1,000 more or another 56,000 viewers in the future. We're on the road to 1,000 followers here on Rumble. We're on the road to 100,000 on YouTube. With that being said, folks, let's jump right into the news of the day. And this one has Hollywood goes gaga for Kamala. Now, I wanted to bring this up because this is giving me flashbacks to quasi 27, 28 year where the media came full out for Barack Obama. I mean, they were doing music engagements, similar to like you see with Kamala Harris. They were showing up to all his events, similar to like they're doing with Kamala Harris. They were doing social media, similar like they're doing to Kamala Harris. God, it sounds a lot like maybe there's people from Barack Obama's campaign giving a little sprinkling of advice to Kamala Harris, or maybe there's Obama team on Harris's team. So they can't help themselves. Every 4 years, Hollywood puts the remains of its dignity in cool, dry place and chills for Democrat du jour. Now, I didn't see it as much for Joey, okay? But I did see it for him, but not as much. You got Kerry, Obama, Clinton, Biden, now Vice President Kamala Harris. They mostly kept quiet in the waning days of Joe Biden's failed presidency in his final days of his presidential campaign. You had Mark Hamill coming out. We all saw that during Jean-pierre chauffeuring him out during the White House press briefing. But there wasn't really much. I mean, if anything, they're saying he's pretty cringy. But most stars kept on their sidelines at least, likely aware of Biden's cognitive decline. Now they're rushing to get behind Kamala. As to why, I don't know. Why didn't you guys get behind her back in 2019 when she was running for the office of the presidency? Why didn't you get behind her then? Because she sucked. That's why. I mean, it's clear as day. She's terrible. I didn't need her to get into the Oval Office to find out that she sucks at her job. You want to know why? Because I live in the state of California, and this is the state that she ran into the ground, along with Gavin Newsom, who we will see a little bit later today. Yes, I don't need to see these knuckleheads get voted into office and go, holy crap, they suck at their job. Who would have thought? I don't know. Maybe look at their history. People go, well, Donald Trump was never in the Oval Office before you voted for him. No, correct, he wasn't. He wasn't even a politician. But you know what? The dude was a damn billionaire. Built skyscrapers, read contracts, knows how to work with people, very good negotiator. Yeah, I don't know. I could probably look at his record and go, let's see, person that drove California into the ground, senator his entire life, drove his state into the ground, didn't do anything for the American people, versus a guy that donated millions of dollars, built skyscrapers on New York skyline, gave money, helped people, employed people, did all these things. Pretty easy pick for me. Yep, I'll take a gamble on this guy because Barack Obama sucked. So you got this guy here, who, look, quite frankly, I like Ben Stiller. I clearly don't like his politics, but I like him in Zoolander, Dodgeball, Tropic Thunder, all that stuff was great. But he said this, she's also a historic candidate. Let me wet my whistle after that one because I almost want to throw up. And no, I'm not sick. It's just I'm tired of talking about Kamala Harris, and I might have to talk about her for another 4 years if we don't show up to the polls. It's going to be the first woman president. Who cares? And that's incredibly exciting. She's Indian. She's black. She's everything. You can be more than one thing. It's incredible. Yeah, well, according to the Democrat Party, if you're a biological male, you could also be a girl and vice versa. Just totally wiping out all women, everything. It's crazy. I mean, what a time to be a woman, right? I mean, the fact that you can be outcompeted by men, both in obviously a literal sense, but also a figurative sense too, is a remarkable thing. It really is. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year, I think like a little bit after that transition. So he went from like Man of the Year to Woman of the Year. I'm so excited, a woman president, man. How exciting. And her champion of women's rights. I'm for that. Well, what kind of women's rights were involved in getting her the nominee of the Democrat Party? I didn't see a single woman vote for her. Did any of the Patriots in the chat? I see all in there. Did any of the Patriots in the chat? We got a lot of women in here. Did anybody see their friends that are the ladies going out voting for Kamala? Because I didn't see it. I mean, hell, you got Rosie O'Donnell here. This psycho bragged about buying 100 Harris t-shirts. Rosie, when did you vote for Kamala? Weird. I don't know a single woman that voted for Kamala Harris. Interesting. So obviously Rosie O'Donnell sitting there fangirling out. You also have courage, as Dan Rather might say. You got Nick Offerman, the TV legend from Parks and Rec. Look, good actor. Enjoy him. He's funny. He goes, I'm proud to be a Kamala man who has quit the GOP because I can't just abide a man who's tried for 34 felonies. It's time to stand up and face the facts that the men that I once cheered are a bunch of wing nut white nationalists. Those guys are effing weird. Why is he calling everybody white nationalists? Like, you guys, like, it's amazing that you can go from being like red pilled to blue pilled. Like, you could tell this guy just gets stuff from his Hollywood buddies. Like, there's not much going on there. You know what I mean? It's just somebody talking in your ear. So Hollywood's going to get behind this. And I bring this up because there was rumors and swirlings around the fact that when Joe Biden was, cognitive declining out of his own presidency and off this planet, that Kamala Harris was going to step in, and Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi were kind of the handlers of the puppet and the orchestration of what was going on. Barack Obama allegedly, take it with a grain of salt, told Kamala, like, hey, and Biden, that if you do this now, I can get my campaign to work with you, and that they could kind of lead the brigade and get you into the Oval Office. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I'm getting big feelings of 2008, 2008, 2009-ish timing with what I'm seeing here. So that's what's going on with Hollywood. We all saw it. I mean, they had a whole, like, white men for Harris or whatever. Pretty wild stuff. So speaking of Harris, folks, she has zero substance. Like, she has no backbone. She says one thing in one state, and then she goes to another state and says the exact same thing. And like I mentioned, Democrats are completely cool with this. They're completely cool with being manipulated and manhandled, and quite frankly, not even having their democratic rights in place to get her even elected. So here we are. Watch this one.
So good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state.
Now, if you're in audio, there's a split screen. One of them, on Wednesday, she's talking in Wisconsin. And then in the other screen to the right, she's talking to Michigan. And she's saying the exact same thing to both.
Took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's I had a summer job at McDonald's.
You probably should have stayed there. You know what I mean? Like, McDonald's, maybe they're the reason why California's messed up and now the United States, because they let her go. Sometimes you got to take one for the team, folks. They should have kept her, and we probably would have been okay a little bit. You know what I mean? She should have stayed at Mickey D's. She's probably one of those people where you order a kid's meal that has just, you know, fries, a toy, a burger, and a drink. She probably forgot everything inside the box and just gave you your drink. We've all been there. You order something, you leave the drive-thru, you're all stoked to go home. It's a Friday, you had a long week, you just want a burger, an all-American burger. You get home, you see the kids, hey, Mom, how's it going? It's good to see you guys. You open up the bag, there's no burger, there's not even a fries, there's a toy, and the toy's giving you the middle finger. But you got your soda. You got your soda. So what do? You drive 30 minutes back.
So hear me when I say, so hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win!
God, that is so cringy. I'm sorry, guys, putting you through that. I'm so sorry I put you through that, but we had to. I haven't had my cup of coffee this morning. I hope it's okay that I take a little swig and wet the whistle every now and then in front of you folks. I know some people look at it as being rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to wake up. It's the morning here for me. We get up at 5 a.m. for the show. Gotta wake up. Now, there was a news here about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Now, before I get into the Trump stuff, Kamala Harris finally fielded questions, you guys. No, I know. You might have just spit out your coffee or maybe, you know, swerved your car a little bit while you're in the car listening to the Bald Brad show. No, she fielded questions, you guys, and I got the tape. So Kamala Harris, wow, finally fields questions from press. Now, I'm going to put this in air quotes, fielding questions, because when you see the audio clips, you'll be like, all right, was this really fielding questions? From the press, after dodging the media for 18 days, she went 18 days without taking a question. It's remarkable. Taking the good from Barack Obama's campaign with these Hollywood elites getting behind them, and then taking the strategy of living in the basement virtually of Joe Biden. What I mean by that is not answering any of the press's questions because there's no need. The entire media apparatus is behind the Democrat Party. The propaganda that's being fed to Americans is like on another level. It's weird. I say it's weird because not that everybody's using that term now. It's weird because when you read history books of like these Marxist countries and socialist countries feeding their people propaganda, dude, it totally reminds me of what the Democrat Party's doing right now. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke with reporters, air quotes, for the first time Thursday since becoming the presumptive Democratic nominee for president nearly 3 weeks ago. She talked to the media on the tarmac at Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport. There's a tongue twister. After a campaign event in Michigan and after the former President Trump held a lengthy news conference, which we'll get to. And boy, was it lengthy. Now, Trump's news conference was long. Bro was fielding questions. Kamala, not so much. Now, I want to be fair. Your ears are about to be blown out, okay? So if you're listening, just be careful because she's on the tarmac next to her plane. I don't know why they field questions right next to the freaking engine. Hey, Kamala, why are you called the border czar? What? Border what? Border secure. The border's secure. Like, here we go.
Some of the criticism has been about your vice presidential pick and his leading the National Guard at 24 years. Dan said that he deserted his own troops, deserted his own colleagues. What's your take on that?
Listen, I praise anyone who has presented themselves to serve our country. And I think that we all should.
Some of the criticism has been about...
So is the criticism, if you couldn't hear, about Tim Walz kind of dodging going to Iraq and stuff, and she goes, well, I think basically we should honor anybody that's tried to serve. So she dodges the question, doesn't answer it, which is going to be similar. And I'm curious what they're going to say on the debate stage more specifically between J.D. Vance and him, because I think the military stuff's going to come up, and why would it not? They were both military personnel. Like he was in the military, but he dodged his team, so whatever. Now you also have her being proposed with another question here about doing an interview. Now it's going to be hard to hear, so I'm going to kind of preface what's going to happen. So she hasn't done a single interview in 18 days, you guys. She says that she plans on doing an interview, I don't know, sometime before the end of the month. Folks, it's the 9th. There's only like 22 days left. So you're going to maybe get an interview in before the end of the month? Really, Kamala?
Madam Vice President, there's been a lot of questions about when you're going to sit down for your first interview since being the nominee. Do you have any updates on that?
I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month. Thank you.
Madam Vice President,
why don't you just go do one tomorrow? Well, we're going to try to squeeze it into the schedule because you're so busy. You have the entire media behind you. Look, it makes sense why she wouldn't do it. If I was her, quite frankly, I probably wouldn't do it either. And it's not only my thinking that she shouldn't do interviews. You have the entire media behind her, but hell, Nancy Pelosi thinks the exact same thing. Nancy Pelosi is going to say that she doesn't think Kamala Harris should do interviews.
Do you think that the vice president needs to be more out there talking to reporters, talking about issues in a give and take, not just in speeches?
I think she should say what I just said in that sentence. She should be herself. She should be ready. She should know her power in all of this. And I don't give anybody advice except to be themselves and be ready and know the power of their individuality.
I don't give anybody advice. Please, you sat there and met with Joe Biden to give him advice on dropping out of the race, lady. Oh, God, you were pulling the strings with Barack Obama. You ousted a guy that gave his life to the Democrat Party, and they stabbed him in the back like Julius Caesar.
And their authenticity.
Do you?
They should only be themselves. You're curious what I was doing? I was fixing my dentures. So that was her. Now, she refuses to debate in 2 presidential schedules with Trump. So this was big news yesterday, where Trump comes out and he says he's agreed to 3 debates on 3 different networks, and he calls Harris barely competent, which we'll get to in one moment. There was a lot there from Trump yesterday and a lot of good stuff, which is why I said if Trump does this, he's going to win. He looked great yesterday. So he basically agreed to, I guess I would say, one more. The Fox News right here was already scheduled on September 4th. Kamala initially said she wasn't going to do it. And, well, she's not going to do it again, which we'll get to in just one moment. Then the one that they're going to do is ABC September 10th. Now, if this one sounds familiar, this is because originally this was the scheduled debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump with George Stephanopoulos. And Trump was like, well, I'm not going to do that one because that one was between him and Joe Biden and was all catered to Joe Biden's demands. So he's walking into the lion's den again. And he goes, well, let's do one on my show, favorability, I guess, Fox News, with whoever moderating it on September 4th. Now, this is the new one. The third one, NBC, September 25th. So we don't have anything in October yet. But here's the thing. Kamala said no to September 4th. She agreed to ABC's September 10th. And then, according to her words, if he shows up on September 10th, then we could potentially do more debates. I don't like that because it shows her having a power move, and she has all the power. Quite frankly, guys, if I was Donald Trump, I just wouldn't do a debate either then. I just wouldn't do it. It doesn't show a form of strength when you bow down to Joe Biden. I understand he destroyed him in the debate, but you bow down and you gave him everything he wanted. Now you're sitting there bowing down again by giving Kamala Harris what she wanted. So the presentation of how that looks visually, honestly, is not good. He needs to sit there and destroy her in this debate because right now he's not wielding that image of power. Mind you, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but I'd rather be honest with my audience and say this is how it's viewed and how it's being portrayed. Now, here she is refusing to debate him in 2 presidential debates out of the 3. She won't even answer the question.
Madam Vice President, Donald Trump agreed to 3 debates. Will you be participating in all 3?
I've always been on record. I am looking forward to debating Donald Trump, and we have a date of September 10th. I hear he's finally committed to it. I'm looking forward.
What about the other 2?
Let's make sure we get this photo of everyone.
Completely dodged. I'm all for it. I'm all for debating. Well, yeah, but what about the other 2? Which she's not going to do. She actually declined. Her campaign came out and actually declined the Fox News one. Of course. Why would they go on Fox News? It's not going to be favorable for them. Everything you are seeing from the Democrat Party from 2020 and on, like present day, is fully scripted. You aren't seeing anything that isn't calculated. You're not seeing anything that's been talked about from a team. There is so much strategy behind the Harris campaign, it's head spinning. Now, you might be saying, well, that's obvious. Aren't all campaigns like that? Donald Trump has strategy, yes, behind it, but not as scripted and formulated as Harris. Trump comes out, screw Rosie. Rosie's disgusting. Kamala, she's not brilliant. Low IQ. Like, none of that's scripted, you guys. It's just Donald Trump. And he came out yesterday, folks, and fielded questions off script. The dude was all over the media, C-SPAN, News Nation, CNN, CBS. He did an emergency press conference. The dude spoke and took questions for a long time. You don't see this from Kamala Harris. You haven't seen it from Kamala Harris. You probably won't unless she's doing something scripted. This dude didn't even have teleprompters going. And I want to play a few clips of what he spoke about and what he said, because if he can do this on the debate stage and keep it together, and what I mean by keeping it together, don't go after her like name calling. Oh, you're low IQ, Kamala. You worked at McDonald's. I built McDonald's. I eat McDonald's. You should be serving me. He needs to stick to what he's doing here, because he looked great yesterday. I mean, not just physically, right? I mean, Trump looks good. The guy's like de-aging. I don't know what the hell he's doing. All those preservatives in that McDonald's is clearly preserving the president. He's looking good. Listen to the guy on through these clips, and this is what we need to see from Trump on his A game. This was great.
A lot of the MAGA, as they call them, but the base. And I think the base is 75% of the country, far beyond the Republican Party, because we're a party of common sense, and I'm a person of common sense. I want to have low taxes. I want to have strong borders. I want to have a strong military so that China and Russia, look, they've allowed China and Russia to do the impossible combined. They're natural enemies. They always have been, because China needs more land and Russia has it. They've always been natural enemies. And because of Obama, it started with him, and then Biden, because he didn't know what the hell he was doing, they've now become one force. And then now they're adding Iran to it, and they're adding North Korea to it. Pretty powerful force. This is something that is unthinkable that they allowed to happen. And a lot of my...
He's correct. I mean, it was clear. It was concise. There wasn't too much fluff behind that he normally does on things. He wasn't exaggerating anything. He said, look, he wants low taxes, strong borders, strong military. Look what they've done with foreign policy. He doesn't need to do what he did in 2016 and, quite frankly, 2020. He doesn't need to attack somebody's personality. He doesn't need to attack somebody's low IQ. He doesn't need to do any of that. He has so much ammo with what's been done from the Democrat Party. He just focuses on that. He doesn't need to get riled up, because what is she going to do? I hope his team is telling him this. She's going to sit there and attack him. You racist. You don't like black people. You know, all these things. You're a bigot. You're a xenophobe. All these wild things. He just needs to sit there and, quite frankly, take it. Don't even respond to it and say, I'm for black people. I hired thousands, comma. How many have you hired? I don't see you running a business, multi-billion-dollar business, building skyscrapers, hiring men and women of all ethnicities, especially black people and Hispanics, whites, Asians, to sit there and give them a job so they can feed their family and actually live the American dream. You've done nothing but destroy the American dream, Kamala. These people can't get jobs. Americans can't sit there and get jobs. And when they do, you take their money away and you want to increase their taxes. I want to lower their taxes. That's why we had the Trump tax cut in 2016 that saved Americans money. You're making Americans spend money. And you're going to do that not just through taxes, but also record inflation. He does not need to sit there and go above and beyond what he normally does. Just speak with what they've done to destroy this country. And this is what he's doing. So he talks about how Kamala Harris supports mandatory gun compensation. I'm telling you guys, he rocked it yesterday. He was killing it.
Everyone's gun. If you take away guns, you can't do it because people need the guns for protection. Now, entertainment, they want it, hunting, they want, different things. But they need weapons for protection in this country. People live out in the woods and they're not going to have a gun. If you look at some countries, I don't want to get them in trouble, but some countries have actually gone the opposite way. They had very strong gun laws, and now they have gone the opposite way, where they allowed people to have guns, where in one case they encouraged people to go out and get guns, and crime is down 29%. And remember this, what is the toughest gun law in the United States? Chicago. On July 4th, 117 people were shot and 17 died. The toughest gun laws in the United States are in the city of Chicago. You know that. They had 117 people shot. Afghanistan does not have that.
Look, you ain't wrong. Afghanistan has their own issues, but the man is correct. And if he stays on point, you guys, I think he needs to do more of these. Because these are the types of questions, if he's receiving from the media, and it's ABC, George Stephanopoulos, he needs to have those answers ready to go. And quite frankly, this is debate practice for him to go out and field these types of questions. He needs to do more of this for the next 4 weeks. Kamala Harris isn't going to do it. J.D. Vance has been doing it as well. J.D. Vance needs to go carry the message as well and attack the media and attack Kamala Harris from that angle. Man, he was looking good, folks. Couldn't be more than proud to display the president of the United States and hopefully Mr. 47 coming up here. We got more clips coming from Donald Trump. But before that, folks, if you're wondering what I'm drinking as I'm wetting my whistle, folks, we're drinking 1775 coffee, folks. This comes through Rumble. Have you heard of the recent advertising scandal? Let me break this down for you. We've covered it here. Rumble, we drink their coffee. We wear their apparel. We do our platform from their platform. The CEO of Rumble, Chris, recently released an email that inspired brands and Dunkin' Donuts. The email explicitly states that the right-wing culture of Rumble is too polarizing. In other words, Dunkin' Donuts has a problem with right-wing culture and wants nothing to do with Rumble. So here's the solution. Stop buying those products. Target trying to go and put out all this trans stuff and get your kids going and all that weird, wild stuff. Stop buying those products that don't support you and start supporting brands that do support you. And that's why you guys support the Bald Brad Show. That's why you guys buy our mugs and our merch and all that stuff. Well, the competing coffee brand that we all need to get behind is Rumble 1775 coffee. We drink it here every morning, folks. It wakes us up. It sprites us. It gets us going. We're going to look as good as Trump here. For a limited time, Rumble is offering, if you buy 2 bags of coffee, you get 1 free. And as much as we're here on the show, folks, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, you're going to be drinking that coffee up. So getting that 1 free is great. If you go to 1775coffee.com right now and enter promo code Duncan to get this limited time deal right now, folks, head over there. So we're not getting the 40%. You're getting an entire free bag. So 33% off, basically free. Get that bag of coffee and have it with me here on the Bald Brad Show. And head over to baldbradstore.com and get yourself a mug. Tell you what, folks, I don't know what it is about this, but when you drink this, you got the American flag, gosh, you feel better, You don't feel like a Democrat. You know what I mean? You feel like a Republican. You feel like a conservative. You feel like a damn patriot drinking out of the mug. You don't got to, look, hey, I don't got to tell you guys. Shib and Pat are drinking out of this mug right now. I guarantee. There he goes. I told you. There it is. I didn't have, my head was down. Goes better in a patriot mug, Shib. You're damn right over there at Rumble. Secret agent, plug the mug, baby. Plug that mug. Because damn, it feels good to drink from it. Can we get Trump getting a Bald Brad mug? Can we get one to him? Do we know him? Does anybody know Trump? So here he is, talking about the fact that you can get no votes, lose in the primary system, and you could still get picked up to run for president. I mean, he's speaking logic here. There's nothing this guy did wrong yesterday.
But the fact that you can get no votes, lose in the primary system, in other words, you had 14 or 15 people, she was the first one out, and that you can then be picked to run for president, it seems to me actually unconstitutional. But the fact that you...
I don't say it's unconstitutional, but it's definitely not democratic. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the Democrat Party. That's why. So you look in history, you had Jackson kind of utilizing more of the notion of Democratic Party, and it kind of got popular. And the whole purpose of that was to use the idea of a democracy to put forth a representative that was going to speak on behalf of the people. And it's we, the people, that are the republic. They don't even represent their name anymore. We did a show that said the Democrat Party is unrecognizable, not just from leaving their own ideology. There's still some sprinklings of it, like their aspect of treating black people poorly and wanting to put forth segregation again, all those things. We don't need to rehash that out, but you understand where I'm going with that, to the point where they don't even follow their own name. They are not the Democrat Party anymore. And I would like to propose the question to people like Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, and others of, at what point do we sit there and just say the Democrat Party is the progressive left? Like, that is my question, to be quite honest, because I don't know. We're supposed to, be specific of, well, there's Democrat Party, those that hold to the First Amendment, the Second Amendment rights, they still hold to the Constitution and the values of America and all those things. They just believe in like bigger government, higher taxes, more money being spent, things like that, like the traditional Clinton, JFK stuff. Well, now they're not like that, though. I mean, they're moving on to going after your kids, transing them, indoctrinating them, segregation, like all this crazy stuff. At what point are we going to sit there and say, as their party, like, are they still Democrat? Because literally they are not. They did not do democracy in terms of putting forth Kamala Harris. So Donald Trump was correct here. And can you imagine if we did that? If we did that as a party, everything that's going on in the Democrat Party is so watered down by the media, it's head spinning. So good on Trump to be like, she didn't even win the primary. Nobody liked her. She didn't even make it to Iowa. Folks, Iowa, she didn't make it to that. Can you believe it? She dropped out. Nobody liked her. And all of a sudden she's Kamala with Kamala-nomics. Crazy word. So Kamala and Walz are abortion extremists, and we talked about that yesterday. This is, you guys, again, as somebody, my entire life was pro-choice. I'm now pro-life. The fact that Walz sat there and came out and voted for a baby surviving an abortion and still killing it after, that is not even pro-choice. That is some psycho shit, man. That is beyond, like, barbaric. I hope there's no viewers of mine, man, that are for somebody surviving a murder. They're alive, and you're just, let's finish them off. That's so crazy to me. Here's Trump.
Democrats are really the radical ones on this, because they're allowed to do abortion on the 8th and 9th month, and even after birth. If you look at your new governor from Minnesota, he's like the governor previous, the former governor. I don't want to get him mixed up, because Glenn is doing a good job, and he's leading our whole campaign in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. But previous to Glenn, the governor, he said the baby will be born. We will put the baby aside, and we will decide with the mother what we're going to do. In other words, whether or not we're going to kill the baby. The Minnesota gentleman, this guy agrees with that. He is the most liberal. Look, between her and him, there's never been anything like this. There's never been a combination. So I'll use the word progressive. They want to go progressive. They don't like the word liberal. I like liberal better. I think it's more appropriate, because nobody knows what progressive means. But they now like to use the word progressive. But there's certainly never been anybody so liberal like these two, or even close.
I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes Trump embellishes things when he talks, right? And it could sit there and rile the media up, where they talk about the embellishment, but they don't talk about the core substance of what he means. He's a showman. The guy's he's a celebrity. He's a reality star. He's going to embellish things because he's there for an entertainment purpose, to keep you engaged and have fun listening to him talk, but he's also there to talk about substance. I don't know what it is. It's weird as hell. People with Trump derangement syndrome can't listen to this guy talk and decipher what is for entertainment purposes and embellishment versus what's the actual core substance of what he's talking about. They are not capable of doing it. It's really a remarkable thing to sit back and watch. They're not able to do it. So he's correct here. And just speaking in layman's terms, like there's never been a more radical ticket in history. I don't want to say that's full whole cloth truth, but it's pretty far up there. So here he is talking about the enthusiasm on the side of the Republican Party, no matter how much water the fake news media carries for Kamala. And he's right here. I mean, we are probably more unified as a party than ever.
Oh, give me a break. Listen, I had 107,000 people in New Jersey. You didn't report it. I'm so glad you asked. What did she have yesterday? 2,000 people? If I ever had 2,000 people, you'd say my campaign is finished.
Exactly. They're all hyped up. That's a freaking 1,000 people for Kamala. This is awesome. It's like, the dude has 100,000. Oh, his campaign sucks. 100,000? What a loser. It's crazy. And Democrats like, yeah, what a loser. The guy sucks. He can only get out 100,000. We got 2. Yeah, woohoo.
It's so dishonest, the press. And here's a great example. I had in Michigan recently 25,000 people, and 25,000 people we just couldn't get them in. We had in Harrisburg 25,000 people, and 20,000 people couldn't get in. We had so many. Nobody ever mentions that. When she gets 1,500 people, and I saw it yesterday on ABC, where they said, oh, the crowd was so big. I have 10 times, 20 times, 30 times the crowd size. And no, they never say the crowd was big. That's why I'm always saying turn around the cameras. I'm so glad you asked that. I think it's so terrible when you say, well, she has 1,500 people, 1,000 people, and they talk about, oh, the enthusiasm. Let me tell you, we have the enthusiasm. Correct. The Republican Party, and me as a candidate, but the Republican Party has the enthusiasm.
He's exactly correct. Nothing he said during that press conference was off the wall, bonkers, embellishment. He's correct. I mean, there's more people in the parking lot for his rallies than the entire event at Kamala Harris's rallies. In the parking lot. There's more people on the side of the damn highway to see him drive by than showed up for Kamala Harris's rally. And the media are like, oh, hell yeah, Kamala, most popular president ever. She's great. Like, he's correct here. And look, we know this is, again, they've been doing it forever. They've been doing it to this guy since 2016. They don't want to report accurately. They want to sit there and manipulate things. They want to lie. And they're going to continue to do it. And by the way, it's only going to get worse. Oh, it's only going to, look, the closer we get, right now they're kind of stoked because Kamala Harris is rising in the polls, right? In some polls, she's beating Trump. In some polls, they're razor thin. So they're like, okay, it's working. It's working. Wait till something happens or wait till she starts losing in the polls and they're still already like going full blown on Kamala, meaning rubbing her shoulders, eating the gunk between her toes, all that gross stuff and spreading lies. No, it's going to be like on another level if she starts glowering in the polls, you guys. So just wait. We're calling it right now. Clip it. Today's August 9th, Friday. I'm telling you right now, and very rarely are we wrong here in terms of what we're going to see in the future. If she starts declining in the polls, even though the media are doing everything they possibly can to keep her up there, you're going to see another level that we've never seen in this country. So speaking of her running mate, Walz. Oh, Waltzy. Tampon Tim. Walz backed sanctuary policies, services for illegal immigrants as governor, win for open borders. So Vice President Kamala Harris's Minnesota running mate has already brought fresh scrutiny on his record on immigration and border security, including his support of driver's license for illegal immigrants and calls to make Minnesota a sanctuary state. Greg, if you're listening to this, meaning Mr. Abbott, governor of Texas, go ahead and bus loads of them to Tim's house over there in Minnesota because he wants to be a sanctuary state. Well, let's start busing hundreds of thousands of them there and cripple their infrastructure. And by the way, that's going to cripple their education system as well because they don't have the type of secondary language facilitation that we have, say, in Southern California, Texas, Arizona, the border states, because a lot of people speak Spanish and other languages. Yeah, they don't have that infrastructure there. By the way, they don't even have the capacity to take care of all these people. So it will crumble. So Greg, Doug Ducey, Ron DeSantis, start getting those Greyhounds going. Get the engines warmed up. Start sending them there, because I'll tell you what, they're going to change their tune real quick. So look what happened to Chicago. Look what happened in New York. Look what happened to Washington, D.C. Look what happened to Seattle. Look what happened to Portland. Look what happened to Los Angeles. Look what happened to San Francisco. Isn't it amazing that it's so common, it's so prevalent that we could sit there and rattle off all these areas that crumbled because of the Democrat Party and also allowing illegal immigrants to run roughshod over their cities? Moments after the pick was reported, Republicans hammered the choice. The former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley describing the Harris-Walz ticket as a win for open borders, socialism, and Iran. It is what it is. It's facts. It's facts. The Republican National Committee immediately hit him on his record, accusing him of flooding illegal immigrants with benefits. It noted Walz's creation of an Office of New Americans. Remember, they're not called illegal aliens anymore, right? They're called, and then they were called like newcomers. Now they're new Americans. Folks, they're not American. In like the most literal sense, you're not even a citizen. Do you see what they do with language? If you can grab a hold of the language, you can grab a hold of everything that falls below it, which is everything, because language is the form of communication that we see. And now they're calling them Office of New Americans to help immigrants and refugees integrate in the United States. No. It's not just immigrants and refugees. It's non-citizens. And that's what they do. They give a big umbrella and they hide all this stuff under it. That way, when you sit there and say, well, I'm not for an Office of New Americans, you're not for Americans, man? You're not for Americans, you bigot? You sick? Like, that's what they do. You racist? It's like, well, hold. And then as Republicans and conservatives, right? Because we always look under the hood to see like more detail. Well, yeah, but you have non-citizens that are doing this, meaning that you're actually taking funds from actual Americans and maybe refugees and migrants that came here illegally and that did all the stuff necessary to be here. You're actually taking funds from them and helping their family. You're taking a spot from somebody else that actually is taking maybe severity from their country in terms of a war-torn country, or maybe they're being persecuted versus somebody that came here illegally. I'm not for somebody cutting the line and taking somebody else's spot that actually needs that help and wants to assimilate to this country and have a better life for themselves and this family. But that's Democrat. It's not. I'm telling you, they're not capable, or they are, and they're just lying about it. It's one or the other. It can't be anything else. The RNC also pointed to measures that became law during Walz's time as governor. Committee highlighted his signing of a bill into law last year that allows illegal immigrants to get driver's license, which now they're using here in states like California, Texas, and Arizona to get those driver's license in some areas, and then also register to vote, which we're seeing some areas clean up their voter registration rules, not most. So illegal immigrants are going to vote. Just know that. Now, will that sway the election? I don't think so, but they will do it. I think it could swing the election if the Democrats take those ballots that were supposed to be sent to illegal immigrants and ultimately filling them out themselves. That's kind of the rumor mill of what potentially could happen. He also talks about this wall. I always say I let them know how high it is. If it's 25 feet, then I'll invest into a 30-foot ladder, which we saw a video of him saying that. It was either earlier this week or late last week. So he wants to allow a state to be a sanctuary city. He wants to allow illegals to receive taxpayer funds. And it's a really remarkable thing because we're $35 trillion in debt and we're constantly giving everybody else our money rather than actual, Americans, typical. And so while he wants to make all these open border policies, he wants to allow our country to be roughshod, all these things, you got an illegal immigrant charged in Alabama shooting. We've done a story almost every day. And when I don't, it's because there's so much news, we got to kind of have a hierarchy of importancy. You guys know illegal immigration and the debt is my two issues that I have at the top. So an illegal immigrant was charged in a shooting in Alabama as the county endures an unprecedented illegal immigration crisis. Now, we have patriots in Alabama. I hope you're aware of what happened. Now, just remember, Republicans and Democrats both, mostly Republicans, my friends, my family. I always say, look at what happens to California first. Because whatever happens here, regardless of you're a red state or not, you got blue cities. And those people in those blue cities, meaning Democrats, these progressive leftists, it's like a virus. And it spreads. And it spreads like those zombie movies. Yeah, it's going to happen in your area. We said this 3 years ago. Here it is. Mexican national and illegal immigrant, Fidel was charged in the non-lethal shooting of a man in Montgomery, Alabama. This illegal immigrant was charged with first-degree assault after allegedly repeatedly shooting a man with a handgun at close range, wounding and striking the alleged victim in the back and the buttocks. Folks, hold on. Whoa. Hey, pause for a second. I was told, Patriots, this guy just wants a better life. Oh, no. He wants a better life, folks. He's here for his family. He's just trying to feed his family. That's all he's trying to do. He fled persecution. He fled a climate crisis, according to Kamala Harris. No. Stop it. Hey. Bring it down a second here, guys. He's here for a better life, okay? He just wants to take a hold of the American dream. We were told so by the Democrat Party. We can't be bigots anymore, guys. We can't be racist, all these things that they call us. Folks, he's not here for a better life. He's not here to assimilate, okay? He's not here for any of those things. They could say that they are. Some of them are. Some of them are killing your children, raping your wives and your children as well. They're doing all these things. And Kamala wants more of it. Her VP wants more of it. It's only going to get worse. Mexican national who is illegally present in the United States. U.S. Customs and Enforcement and removal operations filed a detainer on this individual, an unlawfully present Mexican national, on August 5th after his arrest by the Montgomery Police Department. Every day we can cover something like this, folks. It's sad. It's terrible. And it's going to get worse. I hate to tell you. If you think Kamala's going to come in, I'm going to fix the borders. Yeah, right. They even say there, even Democrats now in Minnesota say they have a serious problem with how Tim Walz cowered in fear with Minneapolis burning to the ground. And that's what he does, right? He's not for Americans. He's for the destruction of this country. And his actions speak to it.
Lisa Sutton remembers what it was like to live in fear.
I lived in the city at that time. It was very scary.
Sutton is a Democrat and says what leaves her unsettled even now is how her Democratic governor, Tim Walz, responded to the riots years ago.
I do have some serious problems with how our governor dealt with the riots.
Walz has faced bipartisan criticism from some voters in Minnesota who say waiting 3 days was too long to fully activate the national.
And then it leaves us with a buffer. Let's make sure we get this whole clip for you, folks. Want to make sure I'm not cheating you out on the content.
Too long to fully activate the National Guard. He said some of the criticism is valid, but said he worried sending in additional reinforcements could inflame an already volatile situation.
I think that was a failure on his part. I don't know why he waited. I don't know.
But I'll still vote for him. He let my city burn down. My taxes are through the roof. I can't pay my bills. But he's my man.
Why he let the city burn, but I think it's horrible, and people shouldn't forget that.
Lisa Sutton.
Yeah. Oh man, they'll still. I know. I get it, you guys. We say it all the time. They're still going to vote for this guy and this gal. They're going to show up in the millions. They're salivating. They can't wait. They're like they got notifications on their phone for when election day is. They couldn't be more excited to go out and vote for radicals like Kamala Harris. It's funny how they call Donald Trump a radical when the guy basically funded the Democrat Party for probably the majority of his life. He gave a ton of money. I mean, the Clintons were at his wedding, right? He's a radical. Look around you. Look around your prices. Go to the fucking grocery store. I swear. Do you guys get that too from your friends? Again, I have a lot of friends that are Democrats that are going to vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Same thing. They bitch and complain that they can't afford diapers for their kids. They complain that they can't afford it. I'm working multiple jobs. I can't sit there. I help them with their taxes every now and then. Oh God, I just want to make sure I get the most money back. Why are you voting for higher taxes? Why are you voting for Kamala Harris? Then don't bitch about the money that's coming out of your wallet every single time you go to the grocery store, you pay your electric bill, you go to the gas pump. I don't want to hear you complain. and some of them watch this show, which is why I'm saying it this way. They're my friends. Don't bitch and complain about the economy. Don't tell me your rent's too expensive. Don't tell me your gas prices are too high. Don't tell me you can't afford something. I don't want to hear it, because you vote for these people that increase all these things and fuck the rest of us over because you want to sit there and go, he's too bad. Donald Trump's too mean. I don't like his tweets. Then when you get your taxes done, don't tell me I want to make sure I get the biggest refund possible. Because you know what? Quite frankly, you deserve to get no refund, and you should owe the max amount of money to the federal government because you love the spending that they do. You're damn right. There's a little bit of a rant for you, folks. It's been there you see, Pat saw it. It's been a while. I got it. Hey, you can't give it all the time because then it becomes, too normalized. Pat rant time. Trump derangement syndrome is real. It is real. The vote for higher taxes because socialism is going to save them. Exactly. I'll tell you what, a socialist will never take your job, folks, because they need your money. They will never take your job. I mean, your job will be lost at some point because at some point you don't have any money. So, speaking of people not having jobs, you got homeless people, right? So Gavin Newsom is now clearing out camps in LA County, not too far from me. Matter of fact, I don't even go to LA anymore because it sucks. LA County is disgusting. And please don't feel like I'm exaggerating. I really do mean that. There's feces on the ground, human waste. There's feces on the ground. There's homeless everywhere. The air quality is bad. And I'm not talking like, oh, it's like smoke or cigarettes. No. The air quality, it smelled, I don't even know how to describe it. Those that are in LA, I've been to LA, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like it's a mix between like feces, pee, sweat, and like somebody that hasn't showered in like 4 years, all combined in the one thing. It's a unique smell. It's not like a dead body smell. I don't know if you guys ever smell like a dead body before, like a decomposing body, but it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's disgusting. My wife knows because we went down to the Pantages a while ago and it like stuck to us and we couldn't figure out why it like was still inside the auditorium. Well, it was on us. So he's cleaning up LA County finally, which is weird that he's doing this right before the whole Olympics takes place in LA. You guys notice that? It's funny because nobody covers this. The Olympics are coming to LA. Now, he needs to get started on this now because it's so bad. He needs to normalize the idea that there's no homeless around and that it's all cleaned up. There's a reason for everything that they do. It's scripted as a party, you guys. It's all manipulative. It's all fake. It's not real. So here he was yesterday cleaning up the mess that he caused. And by the way, this isn't even really a mess. This is like he went down to a riverbed and picked up a bunch of trash that flowed down the riverbed. This is nothing, you guys. This is like what you see on the side of a freeway. And kudos to him for going out and doing this. Now, he needs to be out there every day because he's the one that contributed and caused a lot of this problem. And I'd rather give credit where credit's due than just hounding the guy all the time. But again, he did this. Now, remember, the homeless encampments that were down at like Venice Beach, like beachfront property. When I say this, you have the buildings that are on the beach, right? You have the boardwalk of cement that's right up against those houses. You then have the homeless encampments that were all along the beach, and then the sand and the water. You're paying millions of dollars, property taxes, electricity, everything for beachfront property, while some dude is sitting there getting paid $600, free cell phone, free meals to have beachfront property in a tent on the beach. So here's this guy cleaning up. This is so underwhelming that it almost seems like it's scripted. Like it almost seems somebody sat there and took somebody else's small junk. I say small. These people have tons of stuff, you guys, and kind of were down there. This is on the riverbed, you guys. This is nothing to compare to what we see in like actual LA. this is a joke. And obviously they're not going to send him down there where there's a bunch of homeless people because he might be attacked. But you have syringes, defecation, drugs, bodies sometimes. We've talked about these luxury tents. And if you're curious what I mean by that, because you've never seen it in your life, I guarantee you've never seen one in person in your life, probably not even on video. There's these luxury tents in LA, and they're not really even tents so much, where say you were to go to like a camping store and you got one of those like 8 people tents, they're freaking massive. Yeah, put like 5 of those together and connect the rooms. And when you walk into some of these people home, their homeless encampments, the luxury tent, what they do is they take the wiring from the light pole and they steal it. So they actually have full lamps, like full electricity inside their tent, followed by plasma TVs. They have gaming setups, and you're like, well, how do they get all this? Well, they steal it, you guys. All that stuff through these smash and grabs are sold on the black market, or they just take it because nothing happens to you. Remember, it's just a misdemeanor if you take anything $950 or less. So they steal all this stuff. They got $500 gaming chairs. How do I know all this? We've seen the footage. There's people that walk in and do this. There, Cheryl gets it. He also cleared up San Francisco for China's president. Exactly right. That's how bad California is. California is worse than a communist state. Yeah, you got a communist coming over here going, oh crap, he's not going to believe what he sees. Let's clean it up. You're exactly right. And thank you so much for the $2. It's very kind of you because we're dealing with Kamalanomics now. You're a true American patriot. You're keeping the lights on here for us, Cheryl. Thank you so much. That's kind of you. So it's just they're doing this because of the Olympics, you guys. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to clean this up. If he did, he would have done it years ago. The reason why is because there's so much damage with the homeless population here that they need years to clean this up. That's why they're doing it now. I think we have the 2028 Olympics in LA. I'm almost positive that's taking place. So really just crazy stuff there happening. I also want to talk about the fact of we have some updates here with Trump assassination. So I don't know if you guys saw this. There's new body cam footage of the Pennsylvania police regarding engaging with the shooter. Now, it doesn't show, I don't believe it shows the actual clip. Eric Birch, thank you so much for following us over at Rumble, man. Couldn't be more than happy to have you hang out with us. Make sure you hop in the live chat. I don't see your name on there. Hop in the live chat, Eric. We'd love to spend some time with you, brother. Thank you so much. There's not like there's the body cam footage, but I didn't see the cam footage of where it shows him fully engaging with him. So it's a long clip, but there's footage obtained by Fox News Digital that shows officers attempting to intercept Thomas Crooks on a roof seconds before he allegedly tried to assassinate former President Donald Trump. The footage is taken from 2 officers who made a desperate attempt to stop Crooks moments before he fired. Effing this close, bro. Dude, he turned around on me. So I think I have it actually queued up, potentially. If not, we'll watch it here then. Audio's not playing for some reason. So what we'll do here is we'll see if we can get that for you guys in just one moment. So he basically just goes on the roof, right? And there's that conversation that was said a while ago where he allegedly was lifted on the roof. He looked at him. Crooks looked at the officer, and that's kind of then was engaged after. I want to see. I thought I had it ready for you guys, but the clip itself didn't really show anything. It's not something you guys haven't seen before, to be quite honest. He just goes to his car going, oh, that was effing close, man. That was bad. Like, that was really rough. So that was a thing. But that also came out. So wild stuff happening there. And I also wanted to bring you guys this little tidbit before we head off into the weekend. We got 2 more things for you, folks. Okay, so hang in there with me. Hang in there, Patriots. Hang in there. If you guys weren't here earlier, folks, if you're always curious, we're always having coffee. We're always hanging out together. We did plug 1775 Coffee. They were originally not just giving us 1 free bag, but they're also doing a 15% off, folks. This is a coffee brand that backs free speech, and they're unapologetic about it, folks. We always say it here all the time. We always plug Rumble because they're taking care of us here on the Bald Brad Show. They're taking care of you, Patriots, by giving you a free bag of coffee when you purchase 2. But if you don't want to go that route, I also want to make sure we bring back the 15% here. Starbucks is going up to $6. My wife says, Brad, you always say it's $5. It's like $6 now. She's right. So say hello to 1775 coffee, baby. 6 a.m. You're like, how does this guy have so much energy? How is he so spry and sporadic, unlike Joey? It's because we drink the good stuff here, folks. They back free speech at 7075coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO to get that 15% off. I'm telling you, it's going to light your candle, wet your whistle with it. You've never seen anything like it. It comes in medium and dark roast. We always say here, we drink the dark roast, folks. If you want a beard like this, if you want the beard of justice, the hammer of patriotism, you got to get the dark roast. Ladies, probably stick with the medium. You know what I mean by that. Peaberry, which is also similar to Kona coffee. It's a premium brand. You're not going to get that gunk. You know, sometimes you sit there and scoop that coffee, those grinds, and then it's also somehow, it's just kind of like the coffee's thick, like it tastes like sand, you know, on your tongue. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you've been having some good coffee. You're not going to get that with this one. This stuff is silky smooth, baby. Link is in the live chat description. You go to 775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO to get that 15% off today. Go 1775coffee.com and go get the good stuff, folks. We love them here on the Bald Brad Show. And I know some of you drink it. I see in the live chat. I see some of you always write in the live chat. We love that stuff. Brad, audio isn't available for the first 90 seconds due to buffering. Oh, is that right? Okay. Thank you. Magi. One of the 3 Magi's in here. How can you live in California? Joanne, I am living on the front lines. You need somebody here, boots on the ground, to tell you what's going on. Why do I live here? I've lived here my entire life. You know what? And I see the destruction of the Democrat Party done to this state. Quite frankly, I do have a long-term plan of maybe moving out, but we got to see. So check this out. We haven't talked about Hunter in a while. Last time we talked about Hunter was when we found out that the Secret Service lady, Kimberly Cheadle, sat there and tried to downplay or get rid of the story about the cocaine found in the White House. So I guess we talked about him earlier this week or late last week. Well, check this out. You guys ready? Paul Sperry. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you guys got to go over there and head over to X and follow him. Subpoenaed bank records reveal another, yes, oh, yes, sir, another Biden Chinese bagman. You have this investment group pumped $145,000 into 2 Hunter Biden shell companies in 2016, while a Mr. Somebody was vice president. Who might that be? Good old Joey, yes, sir. Biden's body man, Franny, solicited funds from this investment group to pay off Hunter's mounting debts. Oh, really? Oh, just more information comes out. I'd say it's probably been about a year now. We did an hour-long show just strictly on, just an hour-long show, just only on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's investments and how shady all of that was. I'll sit there and try to post it on my community tab. I'll try to find it for you guys so that you can get like all the information going back to like 2008. We talk about Devin Archer. We talk about Devin Archer being on the board of Burisma Holdings, and then how Hunter Biden got on the board of Burisma Holdings. We talk about Shokin and how Shokin was not just looking under the hood at Burisma Holdings, but also just all the corruption in Ukraine. We talk about how Joe Biden was vice president, the money funneling into his brother's account. I mean, it is a spider web of stuff, you guys. It's quite frankly, if you don't really sit down and kind of meditate on it, it's hard to follow because there's a lot of people involved in all of it. A lot of crazy stuff. And we're going to end with this clip, folks. A little bit of good news here. Tucker Carlson is premiering this on the Tucker Carlson network. And we always got to end on a Friday with a damn good clip. And this is pretty awesome. Eric Birch. Oh, with the $10. Hey, Brad, love your show. Finally joined Rumble because of you. Love your show. Patriots all the way. Hell yeah, man. Oh, that gets me riled up. Not just because the Patriot aspect, but because we also have the video queued up right here that talks about patriotism, baby. So get ready, folks. Thank you, Eric, for the $10, man. You're keeping the lights on here. True American Patriot. Thank you for coming over to Rumble and supporting us, man. I really do appreciate that. Guys, I'm being genuine when I say this. Times are tough. And you're giving your hard-earned money over here, and it's greatly appreciated. That will never change. Thank you. Here we go, folks.
So we're standing exactly in the path where the president will walk out to the crowd about an hour from now, and there's a malfunction with the flag.
Be careful.
The hood's rocking with Trump. Trump's definitely got the black vote back.
Making America great again.
Donald Trump is the boss. And when you think you're in control, Donald Trump does something that says you're not in control.
You think Biden could do this? I don't think so.
Build the wall. What is the campaign specifically doing differently now?
If there's one word to describe it, It's just execution.
Biden's just taken the stage of the debate.
The standard is not, are you able to stand up for 90 minutes?
I can't even understand him right now.
Trump is like riding a great racehorse, right? You put the blinders on, you guide him into the corners, and you let him run.
Look at how many people are showing up for a rally. Everyone, please just make sure you're ready. 30 seconds.
The president's been shot. I repeat, the president's been shot.
Wow. Does that not give you guys goosebumps? The president's been shot. The president freaking aircraft flying around, bullets flying. People all hyped up and pumped up. That's how we go into the weekend here on the Bald Brad Show, folks. You get the donation. You talk about patriotism. That's what this community is all about here. Yeah, I got the camera and the microphone, but it's the patriots that join us here 6 a.m. every single day, Monday through Friday. Come together as a community and we hang out. Brad, we should all go to a rally together. I agree. I've never been to a rally. Maybe I should go. I might get sunburned, but maybe sell a few books there. But thank you guys, honestly, really so much for always joining us, hanging out as a community. I always read you guys in the chat. Don't forget, we do have the comment section that opens up when the show kind of ends. You can't do it really live. I read your comments. I really appreciate it. If you want to become a member, you can do it over at Rumble. We get more going into the show that way because they don't take as much of a cut as YouTube does. If you want to become a member over at YouTube, it's 99 cents a month. So it's $12 a year, something like that, less than $12. So if you want to join, it's just so you can get a badge, be part of the community. 99 cents. If you want to go $4.99, $99, you can. Don't feel like you have to. Just always want to present it. It's there for you. But the reason why I made it 99 cents was so you can get a badge and show that you're a member and you support the community. That's why it's there. Bald Brad store, baldbrad.com. We got a website, all that stuff, folks. Hope you have a blessed weekend. Pray for this country, folks. Pray for Donald Trump. Hell, and quite frankly, somebody of faith, pray for the president. Pray for Kamala Harris. We need to turn this country around. Somebody needs to do it. I think it's going to be Donald Trump. But have a great weekend. I'll try to be back here tomorrow for more content. Not necessarily live, but we'll see what happens. We are definitely going live during the debate. You're damn right. We'll bring the bingo card out maybe. I know a lot of you like the bingo cards. We'll bring the bingo card out on the debate September 10th. Be here, baby, because it's going to be good. We'll have drinks. We'll have popcorn. Bring all the stuff. Go to the grocery store and splurge a little bit for that night because you're going to have Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump September 10th on ABC with George Stephanopoulos, and we will be here covering it, as will everybody else. But why would you want to be at somebody else's stream when you could be here hanging out with a cool chat and patriots? Why would you be anywhere else? You want to be here. With that being said, Patriot, have a lovely weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Stay safe. Don't do anything psycho. Don't do anything sane. Don't get arrested, Dizzy. I see you in there, Dizzy. Don't get arrested. With that being said, folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on The Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.